Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. If you are new around here, hi, my name is Tyler, I live with my husband Elliot and our parrot Minty, and I create home lifestyle vlogs, hauls and chats. So, as you can tell by the title, this is a super exciting vlog for me to be filming, and we've been having in the background, if you've been watching some of my other week vlogs, then you'll know kind of probably by this point what is happening. But today we're not picking up, but we are going to pick which puppy will be ours today, which is just super exciting. Elliot's not here currently, we're at his work, and where we're going is close to where the vets is for where my husband works, so we were just being nice and we're picking up a bird to take to the vets. So he's currently out dealing with that, but I thought I'd take this chance when it's quiet and the car's not moving to film this little intro. But yes, we are super excited today. We've been receiving videos and pictures of the puppies over the last kind of 2 weeks. And yeah, today we are hopefully going to go and pick out the one that will be our little boy. I don't know how much I'm going to film because obviously we are going to someone's house in their space. I don't know if Elliot's just going to take a few pictures or maybe videos on his phone rather than getting the camera out because the camera's a bit more intrusive. But we'll see what we can do, and then when we get back home we're going to do a full kind of debrief of kind of the process, all of that type of stuff, because it was quite a stressful process, to be honest. Nothing to do with the breeders, just a very kind of stressful process for me because I get anxious and I like to know what's happening at all times, and sometimes there was radio silence, which is fine. But yeah, so first stop we're doing today is we are getting a Starbucks, and then yeah, it'll be off to see the puppies. So this is 2 days after I filmed the intro for this. And we were successful. We managed to pick out our boy from the litter, and yeah, so it officially means we're getting a little pooper.
Puppy.
Minty's going to have a little big brother. So yeah, I thought we could go through and talk about the process, kind of how long it took for us, and just how we decided to do things. Off you go then. Go on then. Come on, you can do it. Go on then. Cage.
Yep,
charming.
go to the toilet on Daddy first, that's grand.
You couldn't wait till you got to your cage, no. We decided officially New Year's Eve, didn't we, last year? Well, not last year, this year. Last year.
Oh, I don't
2023.
know.
New Year's Eve 2023. We kind of sat down and had a talk. We've been having rough talks about it throughout all of last year, but I think kind of we solidified it New Year's Eve last year. And we've kind of spent the year kind of getting money into position, getting all of that stuff sorted out, ready to do it, because obviously getting a puppy is a big investment. So the breed we have decided to go for is a German Shepherd. We agreed this quite quickly, didn't we?
We had some back and forths about little things for a while, but we were just trying to figure out.
We always wanted a big dog because I've always grown up with big dogs, and if I'm out walking and stuff like that, it's a safety thing. I want to be able to feel safe and stuff like that. Not that we live in a bad area, but you never know. And I think you have the mindset of if you can, what's your phrase?
If it's smaller than a rugby ball, it's not a real dog.
Yeah, your mum won't be appreciative of that.
She won't.
So we agreed German Shepherd because they are active, they're very good family pets, they're very loyal, so it was kind of like a no-brainer for us to have that. I've grown up with them and have trained them, so that's easy for me, and I think you're comfortable with that type of dog because you've only ever had Mr. Kipling, who's a sausage dog. So yeah, so once we agreed all of that and we kind of had a fairly decent chunk of money, that's when we started to actively look into breeders, which was probably October?
Late September.
Late September, early October is when we were actually looking for breeders, things like that. We obviously made sure to go with breeders that are Kennel Club assured. I know that's not as meaningful nowadays because I'm pretty sure anyone can really become a Kennel Club assured.
There's no real criteria
breeder.
for it now, I don't think.
But we also looked for ones that had like full health tests on both the parents, and the breeder we actually went for is a vet herself, so that was also another big bonus because we knew that everything was going to be done like properly, and it was all about the puppy's healths and all of that stuff.
Having said that, we turned.
There were some breeders which had some red flags, so I would just be careful that if you are looking at getting a puppy, is just because someone says they're Kennel Club assured or registered, they can still be dodgy. They can still not have the breed's interests at heart.
Yeah, we had people who told us that we had to pay £500 deposits on a puppy we hadn't seen yet, and we didn't have a choice of puppies. They would just give us one puppy, and if we weren't happy with it, then we'd lose our £500.
Yeah, so it was a weird thing of, they said that they would refund us the money, the deposit, if the coloration or coat wasn't what we wanted, but if the temperaments didn't match and the personalities didn't match, we wouldn't be able to get it back, which obviously any ethical breeder will say, well, actually, looks and coat length comes second. You need to make sure that dog is the right temperament and personality for your family.
I just find it funny. It's just like you could have a like a puppy cowering in the corner, like, I don't like these people, and you'd be like, well, you're stuck with that one.
And it was a very big amount for a deposit as well. It was a third of the price, which again, we haven't looked at that many breeders, and we didn't get to the stage of deposits with a lot of breeders. But
most of the time it's 10 to 20%.
Yeah. So having a third of the cost, which was non-refundable, was a bit of a red flag also.
With such weird criteria for it as
well. And yeah, she said we had to see them at 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Which obviously, again, is another red flag, because if you know puppies, they're not really doing much 2 weeks, so you can't really gauge how that puppy
I
is.
think as well, having strangers in with the pups.
The mum would be protective, and So we had a couple red flags. So it was actually a really stressful process, which I didn't think it would be off the bat. But it is quite a stressful process. I don't know if it's because we've gone for a breed where some breeders are very excessive with their criteria, and other breeders are just kind of want to vet you and make sure you have like the right interest in the dog and stuff like that. Definitely take breeders with a pinch of salt. Definitely do your research, and if a breeder is not ticking your boxes or you feel any bad vibes, as much as you want that puppy, just pull out, because you are going to have that puppy for the next 10 to 15 years of your life, and you don't want to feel forced into that situation.
Also as well, like, everything is copy and pasted nowadays. Everybody who we applied to, no matter if it was the best ones or the worst ones, all asked the exact same questions, all do the exact same things, which make them seem professional, but it's all copy and pasted, it's all pre-done rubbish. And to be perfectly honest with you, I think a lot of it for the dodgy breeders is for show, to make them look legitimate. So you just got to kind of ignore what happens on the paperwork side of things, and when you have those conversations, make a decision based off of that, because that's when you find out really, you know, when they're not worth going with. I mean, we had some fantastic success with the breeder that we're now gone with, that we've secured a puppy with, but it took us 2-3 attempts to find one like that.
Yeah, so I think we inquired with 3 breeders. So the first breeder's one we've actually gone for, but I'm assuming, again, I've never raised puppies, but I'm assuming it's a very busy, stressful task. So there was a bit of radio silence for probably about 2 weeks, and they had a very in-depth questionnaire, which is fine, but I think we just assumed that we didn't meet the criteria. So we then just kept looking at other breeders. The second breeder we went to was the one that had all the red flags, so that was just an immediate no, not happening. And then the third breeder, we are on the waiting list, but I do need to message her.
The third breeder had their own little kind of bits and bobs that we weren't too sure on. They were very nice, very good. It was just that one of the
essentially the female had a trigger for a gene of IVDD, and we tried to Google what that meant, and it's only really prevalent in dogs with short legs, long backs, ergo, dash, and stuff like that.
Basically,
But
the
it
soft,
was-
fleshy bit between the discs on their back can degrade or have issues when they get
Yeah.
older, and it's a whole thing. And again, you know,
It was just her having the gene
Yeah.
of it. It wasn't her actually having it, so we would have had to have inquired with the breeder to kind of establish what
Yeah.
that would mean.
It's still worth avoiding it though, because it's like everything really. It's the more things that you take as a risk that you can avoid in
Yeah.
advance is better. You know.
So
We don't
yeah,
have that
but
on the puppies that we're looking at now. They're basically fully clean. There's nothing.
So what I would also say as well is if you are, so the website that we use is actually really useful. So obviously Kennel Club have their own website, but from what I understand is that you can't put your puppies up on there until they're actually born. Whereas there's a site that we use which is called Champ Dogs, and it's only full of Kennel Club people. The breeders that post on there have to prove that they are Kennel Club registered, all of that stuff. But they can post when they're expecting a litter or when a litter's just been born, so you can kind of get a head start. Because, for example, our breeder it was quite a small litter, so it was 6 in total, 1 girl, 5 boys. 3 of the boys are already reserved, and the girl's reserved, so she's only putting 2 up out of that litter, which essentially means if we didn't inquire through Champ Dogs, we'd have no idea that she had a litter, and then we would only have selection of 2, which then just makes the competition a lot, like, your chances are lower of being selected in that pool of people.
Well, it's not just that as well. When you go to a breeder, you kind of want to be the first person in through the door where you have all the choice, because you're going to meet all these puppies in one go, and the statistical likelihood you're going to find the one that you want to take home from 2 is pretty low. I mean, it's not impossible. You might see 2 dogs and one of them is the perfect one for you, but for us it was more like we wanted to go in and meet all of them and make a decision based on all of them out the litter, and we had
there was only
2
one that we, obviously the female, we're not interested in the female, but she was reserved anyway. We only wanted a male dog, but only one of the other males was reserved when we went on Friday, so it was definitely good to kind of have that a head start and have that choice, because I couldn't imagine anything worse of you sitting in a litter and you bonding with one and being told, oh, that's reserved. Although I think any respectable breeder would just show you the ones that they have available. But yeah, so Champ Dogs is a really, really good website. You can pay a fee to get kind of priority access to litters. So ergo, you get notified of litters a day before everyone else. So if you have a sought after breeder, their waiting list can fill up rather quickly. So I thought that was a really useful resource, and that's what we used the whole time. We didn't do anything on the Kennel Club website whatsoever, because I'm pretty sure they're not even on the Kennel Club website currently. So that was a great resource to use. And then the other thing as well that was really useful for us and was kind of a key thing is you can have the mum and dad be health tested, and then there's fully health tested. So health tested is the ones that kind of, to meet the Kennel Club standards, they have to have tested. If they are fully health tested, it means that the owners of those dogs have paid the extra to have a full gene scan, essentially, of like everything, which it's not necessary, but it's also that peace of mind of if the owner has put that money into making sure that they have had a full health test. Again, they probably just have the dog's interests at heart for the litters and stuff like that. And again, the breeder we went with, both the sire and the dame were both fully health tested and fully clear. So that was peace of mind for us, because it's as obviously none of this ensures that you won't have issues, but making sure that you pick the best that you can gives you the best head start. And if they've been fully health tested, then you kind of know everything that's going to happen. So yeah, so we had quite a stressful, I'd say, 3 weeks of waiting to hear back from breeders. And as I said, the first breeder we inquired with, which was the one that we wanted to go for, she got back to us about 2 weeks later, essentially gave us a phone call, we had a little discussion, she told us information about her and stuff like that, and she essentially said she's happy for us to have a puppy. And then we arranged when we were going to go see the puppies, which was obviously Friday the 13th. They were just about 4.5 weeks old when we went to go see them, so they were definitely getting their personalities in. And then she sent across the puppy contract, and we paid the deposit as well, just to essentially secure that we were going to get one of her puppies. Puppy contract, if you're going with Kennel Club, you should always have a puppy contract. Again, if a breeder doesn't give you a puppy contract, that's kind of a red flag, because the puppy contract is essentially you saying if anything goes wrong with the dog, you give it back to them, because obviously any reputable breeder don't want their dog.
It could be a lot of different things. It's not just that. So you basically, you're signing a contract before you get the dog, which has a bunch of stipulations in it which you have to follow to once you have the dog. Basically, a bunch of a kind of assurances.
Yeah. So one of them is
one of which could be that you have to give the puppy back in the event that you can no longer look after it, rather than giving it to a rescue centre,
because they don't want their puppies in rescue centres. The other one is around breeding. You won't be allowed to breed it unless you prove that you've done all the due diligence and done all the health tests and stuff like that. Essentially, any reputable breeder won't want you to just breed nilly-willy and wouldn't want you to just give the dog up and put it into a rescue, because they care about the dog. So again, that was another thing for me of like, if they don't have those stipulations, and it's kind of, I don't know, are they in it for the right reasons, you know?
Yeah, I mean, not everybody does them, but it's, somebody might not have the capacity to, but it's dependent on the breeder itself. Like, not every breeder on planet Earth is going to be able to take back every puppy they ever breed in case they need a home. But yeah, it definitely makes a difference to the quality of the breeder that you're going with if they have that kind of capability.
Yeah.
Not that you should ever need it, but
no. But it's nice to know that
things
you have
happen,
that.
You could,
yeah,
you have a family member, you're in a household where a family member passed away and you can't physically look after the dog anymore. That's nobody's fault.
Yeah.
And you got
lose your job,
solution,
all of that type of stuff. Like, so it's just that assurance of they won't end up anywhere bad. What are you eating?
He's just getting rid of some of his quills.
Oh, okay, baby.
He's struggling with the ones on his head. I've been trying to do them for him, but he only lets me do so many in a day. Everybody's going to have different stuff. So some people are going to have the horrors of figuring out that their Kennel Club assured breeder is from a puppy farm. That happens all the time.
Yeah.
So
we were quite lucky as well, because another nice thing was obviously we saw the mum. We didn't see the dad because he was a stud, but we've seen plenty of pictures of him, and he's quite a distinguished stud. I feel
he's
like
very popular.
Because she's breeding with the two studs that we really liked the look of. So that was kind of another reason why we were like, oh, that litter. But yeah, so we saw the mum, we've seen pictures of the dad, and we also got to see the aunt as well, didn't we?
I got to see the aunt. You didn't.
I've seen pictures of her on the breeders page. So again, seeing definitely mum, and she was good as well because she actually took the mum in and let them feed off of her. So we could actually see that, okay, yes, this is actually mum, because I have heard stories of people just seeing a female dog and it's shown no signs of being pregnant or anything like that. So definitely, if you can, actually interact with the puppies so you are certain that it is the mum of the litter. So we had, over the course of from us paying the deposit and reserving the puppy to us seeing the puppy, we were sent videos, pictures, that type of stuff of like how they're progressing. And there were kind of two puppies that we had in mind that we liked the look of. And when we went, we initially fell in love with one of them, but he was already reserved.
Well, it wasn't so.
There were two that we had the like of. The first one was the biggest of the litter, and he was. I mean, they're all gorgeous, but he was.
There's two that are nearly identical from the litter. One of them was the darkest. One of them was slightly lighter. We've gone with the slightly lighter one. One of them had interest from another person who'd gone to the breeder. So I think it's one of those things. If we spent more time in with the puppies after we've had an initial conversation about which ones we liked, And then basically the only one that stayed out and played with us was one of the two that we liked, and that one was available. So we decided to go with that one. The process is different for everybody, so we can't really share our process of how we picked our puppy because it's not going to be anything like yours.
I would just say,
just spend the time.
I definitely understand if people like get set on one. Definitely just like sit. Don't make an immediate decision after like 10 minutes and be that one. Like really do sit with them, get to learn them, because the one that we ended up picking for the first half an hour was sat asleep the whole time while all the others were playing. And then they all went to bed and then he woke up, and that's when we got to spend that one-on-one time with him, and he was just so funny and such a little character that we just fell in love with him. And so we picked him. So definitely don't like rush into it, and definitely if you can't decide, don't feel afraid to say to the breeder like, can we go away and think about it? Any ethical breeder will be fine with you going back and thinking about it. They don't want you to just come in, sit for 5 minutes and say that one and then leave. Like,
our deposit was only locked in after we made the choice of puppy as well.
So it was definitely take your time with it, don't rush it, and just really try and get their personalities and things like that. Yeah. Obviously as well, if you have any pets, things like that, definitely arrange for them to be meeting. Can't do that with Minty, obviously, but then he's not a pet that free roams the house. He has his cage and that's all he really stays on. If you obviously have dogs or cats, things like that, I think it would be a very good idea to either go with a breeder that has those things in the household. So for example, our breeder has other dogs and she has cats and they have horses. They don't own the horses, but they have horses, like, so the dog can get socialised with horses. So if you have certain criteria, definitely try and find a breeder that can match that criteria, because you don't want to have a household of kids and have a breeder that doesn't have any like young kids, because then those dogs aren't growing up around kids. Same with cats, dogs, that type of stuff. But you're fine with doggies anyway, aren't you? Yeah. 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 Are you excited? Yeah. Oh, baby. So we went, picked it. He's all reserved now. And our pickup date is beginning of January. All dependent on obviously when they get their vaccinations and things like that. We're due to get a puppy pack, which has all of his information, food, all of that generic stuff that you should get.
Well, he's just come home day, won't we? I think.
Yeah. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
We also get to pick up some nice things for Minty so he doesn't feel left out.
Yeah, you're gonna have a little big brother. But yeah, so we are super, super excited. I feel like it's all come together now. I feel like, yeah.
Should we wait until after Christmas?
Just gotta get through the next 3 weeks. And then you can see your little brother. Yeah. She was also really nice as well, our breeder, because she was like, obviously you're picking him up in 3 weeks, but if you want to drop by at any point to see him again, you can. We decided against that because one, obviously it's like Christmas and New Year's, so people obviously have their own plans and stuff like that. And I think we can wait that long.
Yeah, it's only 3 weeks.
It's only 3 weeks. So definitely more puppy content to come once we have him. I definitely want to, I don't want to like just become a puppy, like a dog mum channel, but obviously the whole point of me doing this YouTube is to kind of record and have records of these experiences that we go through. So there's definitely going to be puppy videos and dog videos, so just bear that in mind, but it is not what my channel is going to solely become. So yeah. Any last things you want to say?
No, I think you covered it all.
You good boy. It's just... Don't push me. Are you gonna give a kiss? Kiss.
Kiss.
Kiss. He's so confused. Kiss. Good boy. That will do it for this. Go on then, back to your house. Good boy. So that'll do it for this video. As I said, keep an eye out for our puppy haul video. That'll be going up a few weeks after this. Just because we're filming in increments of when we've kind of gotten a big amount of stuff. But if you have obviously watched my other vlogs as they've been being released, you would have seen clips of it. But it's more so if people haven't seen that and they just want a big haul video, then they can just watch that. So yeah, super excited.
Insert pictures of puppy here.
Insert pictures of puppy here. And yeah, if you have any questions, just leave them down below and we'll answer them as best we can, or if we can. Obviously certain things we don't want to divulge at this time. But yeah, thanks so much for watching and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.